Welcome back to another Crypto Gorilla video. I am back from Singapore after going to Token 2049 where I met many of you, but it is now time to get back to making videos as the market has been pumping. So today I want to take a look at a couple of trends that I'm looking at, some sectors in the market that have been pumping and that I believe will outperform the rest of the market over this next coming bull run. As usual, nothing in this video is financial advice, and if you'd kindly hit that like button, it really helps my channel reach a wider audience. So the overall crypto markets have gotten people quite bullish all over the timeline, as many, myself included, were expecting September to be a bad month. If you look here at this September column, historically, it has been a red month overall for not only Bitcoin, but the stock market as well. So a lot of people were prepared for September to absolutely suck. But if you look here, so far we are up 8.1% on the month. Of course, the month of September is not over. We could get a random nuke, but things are looking very good, which is causing a lot of people to start preemptively celebrate the month of October, which everybody is calling Uptober, because again, if we return to this chart, you could see for October, 10 of the last 12 Octobers have been green. So historically, it is a good month for, again, both Bitcoin and the stock market. So I'm trying not to get overly excited, as typically when everybody expects one thing to happen, the opposite happens, just like we saw with the month of September. Everybody thought it was going to be a horrible month, with plenty of people calling for a 44K Bitcoin or less. And of course, that didn't happen. We are actually higher than where we started the month. Now, even though things are looking good, it doesn't mean it's going to be up only from here. I am still expecting some corrections over the next few months, but as you know, I am incredibly bullish on crypto. We are headed into an election cycle. We just had a 50 basis point cut by the Fed when many were expecting 25 basis points for the longest time. So overall, things are looking good, and especially for altcoins, which have had a nice surge over the last 7 days, particularly for AI coins, which if we look at this chart, which compares the AI sector to memes, L2s, DeFi, and L1s, you could see that AI tokens are standing out compared to the rest of the pack. And if we filter by AI tokens, we're going to be able to see which ones are standing out. Tau has been the big winner over the last 7 days, reaching as high as 80% gains. I'm also a big fan of both Near and Render, each of which are up almost 30%. And I think these are great picks for the AI sector, especially in terms of altcoins. I find they are less risky. They are all in the top 30 tokens. So while you won't get the craziest gains out of them, they're also defended on the downside. Now, when it comes to picking riskier AI tokens, if you want a chance at getting higher gains with a little bit more risk exposure, I'm pretty much just going to go for what I call the Becker tokens, because if I scroll down this list, the ones that I recognize are all being shilled by Alex Becker. Here we have AOS Network, which is up 32%. You have things like Pal AI, which is up 67% over the last 7 days. Same for OXO, which is up 62%. And yes, while the entire market is up, the ones that are standing out are the ones that he's shilled in his video 2 days ago. And I know this triggers a lot of people, but that's just the way it is. When retail comes back in, because no, they are not here yet, if you go on Google Trends and you filter for Bitcoin, especially if you compare it to the 2021 cycle, you could see we are nowhere near being trending for both Bitcoin as well as altcoins. It's going to be the same thing. It is really at nearly the lowest we've been, especially for a post Bitcoin halving. So when they finally do come back, they're not going to go to Twitter to find coins. They're not going to do their own research. What they're going to do is listen to YouTubers and just pick the tokens that all of these guys are picking. So the Alex Beckers, the Elio Trades, the Virtual Bacons, the Miles, the Hustlepedias, right? They don't want to do research. They don't want to look at this list. Like, this is complicated to understand. For RWA tokens, how do you determine the difference between all these tokens? It's not a meme coin where there's just a picture of a cute dog with a hat or a cat. Here, they actually have to do research and understand which tokens are going to be the good ones that are going to outperform the market. So the easiest way for them is just to follow people like Alex Becker. And the proof for that is that the ones that he talks about are the ones that are up the most. Same thing in gaming, which we're going to look at in just a second. But overall, I am very bullish on AI. I do believe it's going to perform extremely well, even beyond Web3. I think it's going to change the world, and people are not ready for how AI is going to shift how we live our everyday lives. But I do think this narrative is going to play out very well for Web3 and our altcoin bags. But there is one sector I'm even more bullish on than AI, and that is gaming. I have a ton of exposure to gaming in the form of NFTs, in the form of upcoming tokens, which I've done a ton of investments in, and plenty of them have not launched yet, as well as my altcoin bags. Now, I know a lot of people want to buy the top 25 gaming tokens. I think that is the wrong way to go about it. This cycle, you really need to be picking specific coins that you believe are going to outperform the market, because everything's going to go up. But if you're just picking something that's going to go up and you're not trying to outperform the rest of the market, you might as well just buy a Solana, which is much safer than an altcoin, and you're still going to get like a 3x out of it. Now, personally, if I could only pick 3 gaming tokens to add to my portfolio, I would pick Prime, which hits both on the gaming and on the AI narrative. And to be honest, I'm not even that bullish on their trading card game. I'm not even convinced that they have that many players actually playing that game. Not that the number of players even matters in terms of the price of your token. If we look to the previous cycle, most of these games, or pretty much all these games, did not have a working product. They only had trailers, and they went to absurd prices. But nevertheless, I do believe Prime has a very strong narrative and a ton of people pushing it. They also have their upcoming Colony game, which very much touches on the whole AI front. It also is going to be on mobile. So I'm very bullish on Prime. I posted a price prediction video where I said I believe it's going to go to $50 this cycle, and a lot of people said I was crazy, but that's going to put it at around a $5 to $5.5 billion FDV, which we have meme coins that are higher than that. Like, that is nothing crazy in terms of the mania of the coming altcoin cycle. So I think this thing can go as high as $100 per token, but my price target for it is still at $50. So my first token is Prime. My second token is going to be Carrot by My Pet Hooligan. I think this is an incredible studio. I've known them for probably over 3 years now, and just like Prime, they hit on both the gaming and the AI narrative. I know their circulating supply being so low compared to the overall supply does scare some people away. However, I don't believe they have unlocks for a very long time, so there is nothing to fear there. And as you can see, over the last 7 days, the Carrot token is up almost 120%. Again, this is due to Alex Becker talking about them in the video and saying how undervalued they are. So that just goes to show you how much power he has to pump a token, and that's right now. Imagine when the masses are here and all of retail are watching his videos. Now, the third token that I would buy is, of course, Super, and it's mainly because of Elio and the amount of brand power that Elio has. To be honest, I couldn't even tell you what the Super token does other than getting you airdrops for other tokens if you stake it. It's really just Elio and his name, which is concerning for the token long term. But in terms of this run, I believe $5 is very possible for Super. So those would be my 3 gaming picks. If I had to pick some more infra plays rather than actual games, I'd probably go with something like Beam as well as Ronin. Ronin has a very strong cult around them, and I do believe it is going to be a top performer in terms of the infra gaming plays. Now, I do want to also talk about NFTs here, because some of my biggest conviction plays for NFTs are in the gaming market. Now, I have mentioned many times that I went ahead and swept 30 GOAT gaming NFTs, and even at current prices, I think I'm going to to do quite well for their token airdrop. Of course, not financial advice. I do not control how many tokens people are going to get, as well as how good the token is going to perform. But this is one of the bets that I'm willing to make. If you don't want to buy NFTs, you can also farm their token for absolutely free. Their season 2 is currently live. I made a full video tutorial on this that I will link in the description down below. The second one that I have been farming, and I own 21 of their NFTs, is Super Champs with the Tennis Champs NFTs. You could see over the last week, they are down 27%. There is a little bit of FUD around this because they said they would launch their token in Q3. Season 1 of the farming campaign just ended and the token still isn't out yet. So I did see some people losing their mind, which to me makes absolutely no sense. I don't know why you would be FUDding your own bag. I don't know why you would spend 2 to 3 months farming an airdrop, spending your time playing their game only to sell the NFT and now disqualify yourself from getting the larger portion of the airdrop. And I also think people really don't know what it's like for a lot of these tokens working with exchanges. If you want a token to launch and do well, you need it to launch with some tier 1 or tier 2 exchanges. But the issue right now is most exchanges are very backed up in terms of tokens that they want to launch, because the market conditions are not favorable for token launches, and most exchanges do not want to launch gaming projects other than a couple of ton projects that launched recently, which we're going to take a look at in a few seconds. But if you want your token to do well, it needs to launch with these exchanges, and these projects are at the whims of the exchanges. It's the exchanges that are dictating the dates. So personally, I have not sold a single Super Champs NFT. I have over 52 million points for the season 1 airdrop, and I'm just going to hold these through the airdrop because I am bullish on this project. Now, the third NFT of which I hold 10 of is of course Infinigods. I did consider taking profits here. I got in at 0.14. They pumped all the way to 0.26. So I considered offloading half of my bag. However, I figured I'm just going to wait for some sort of announcement that could potentially move the floor even higher and then use that momentum to offload some of my bag. I don't plan on selling all of them, but we will see what happens. Now, before continuing into the gaming stuff, just a little piece on the overall NFT market. Most NFTs are down from the recent pump that we had, where everybody was saying like NFTs are so back, and here we go, we're finally gonna get our NFT season. Bored Apes reached floors of, I believe, 14 ETH. They're currently down to 11.6. Pudgies are holding very well, but really the only NFT here that is standing out to me at the moment are Azuki, which before token 2049, these were like at 4.3, 4.4. They are currently near 6 ETH. I do believe a lot of this has to do with their upcoming token launch. But all this to say, while this might be a great buying opportunity, I have still not allocated into any of these NFTs. I would much rather allocate into tokens, which are a lot more liquid and I believe move a lot faster. Now, I will say that ordinals have had a mini comeback here. I think too many people are celebrating this as like ordinals being so back. I know some of them are up like 60% over the week, but when you take a look at how far down they've come from their all-time highs, we're still down pretty bad here. But again, I hold some ordinals. I'm happy that they are making a comeback, and hopefully the momentum continues and we don't just go back down from here. But like I said, I am not buying any NFTs here. I am buying tokens. Now, speaking of tokens, there are some upcoming launches that I am keeping an eye on. The first one is going to be Hamster Kombat, which is going to be launching on September 26th through Binance. If you don't know Hamster Kombat, it is a Telegram tap game. So you literally just tap your screen, and they do have an airdrop planned. I'm not sure how they're going to go about that because they have an absurd amount of users. And I say users because a majority of them are bots. So I have no idea how they're going to filter that stuff out. Like I said, they are launching through Binance, so I do expect it to do well. We just saw the launch of Catizen, which is another Telegram game who launched through Binance, and they did really well. They launched at a 1 billion FDV fully diluted market cap. They are currently just under 800 mil, but for a Telegram game, this is really impressive. So personally, I do expect Hamster Kombat to perform better than this, just because I feel more people know the IP, but that's to be seen in the next roughly, I don't know, 24 to 36 hours. I understand some people are confused. Why are they launching Telegram games and not launching any of these real games? If we want to call Hamster Kombat not a real game, I know a lot of people were upset that I covered it in like an airdrop tutorial, but I think part of the reason is most people don't know how to buy tokens on TON. You need the wallet and you need to get some TON and then understand how to swap. Most people don't know how to do that if they're not like hardcore crypto people like us. So this gives an opportunity to Binance to capture all of that volume, because people are going to choose to buy it on a centralized exchange rather than figuring out how to do it on a decentralized exchange. Now, does this mean we're going to see a lot more Telegram tokens launched through Binance? I have no idea, but I know there are plenty of projects trying to build their own Telegram games, even some that you wouldn't expect, who are building like a AAA game, and they're doing a Telegram game in the meantime. It doesn't mean they're going to have a token on Telegram, but we're going to see plenty more of these Telegram games. But back to our token launches, the next token that I'm keeping an eye on is DarkTimes, which are supposed to launch before the end of September. So literally any day now. I did make a small investment into this one, so hopefully it performs well. They are launching on Sui, which is catching quite a bid lately, so hopefully this one performs well. And the third token, which I'm looking forward to their launch, is going to be for Bad Eggs. If you don't know Bad Eggs, it's an NFT project that launched back in June. It's currently sitting at almost a 0.4 ETH floor, and this is a project by Toyketo, which is a legit Web2 company that makes toys. They have some really big clients like Among Us. They've also done toys for other Web3 projects like VFriends, which is the Web3 project by Gary Vee. And their studio has sold over 30 million products. So it's a very successful Web2 company. Hopefully that will transfer over into Web3 as they try to build this new IP. But if you missed the Bad Eggs NFT sale, you do have a chance to get into their Yolk token, which is going to be doing a pre-sale. Of course, these spots are limited. You are going to need a whitelist to the pre-sale, which are currently being handed out. We did get a good number of spots in my community, Gorilla Labs. And if we take a look at this tweet, we do get some info on the pre-sale. You can see you are going to be getting in at a sub $6 million market cap, which means you only need a 1.1x to break even on the pre-sale. You get 75% token unlocks on day one, and each pre-sale spot is getting a $200 allocation. Now, if you do hold an NFT, you are going to be getting a pre-sale allocation as well as a token airdrop. We don't know how good the token airdrop is going to be, but I personally like this project. I did have a call with the founder over a year ago, and like I said, this is a legit company, so I personally do plan on doing this pre-sale and taking the chance on it. Again, not financial advice, that is just what I'm doing with my own money. Finally, of course, with so many gaming projects, we have a ton of games to play. There are plenty of play tests going around, many of which offer whitelist opportunities for their upcoming mints. The first one is L3E7. Unfortunately, I have not got a chance to play this one just yet, as it is on desktop only for the time being, and I was traveling. I didn't have my PC with me. However, I have heard some amazing feedback about this game from my community, so hopefully you could test it out for yourself on desktop. If not, hopefully they have the mobile version available soon, as I do believe this is a game that will thrive on mobile. Of course, they do have their upcoming PFP launch, so if you can get yourself a whitelist for that project, I do think it's a good one to have. After that, we have the Today the Game playtest, who also have their Gen 2 free mint coming up. Their Gen 1 is doing incredibly well. It is currently at roughly a 1.5 ETH floor. So that's another one that I would definitely recommend, both testing out the game, but trying to get yourself whitelist for. And last but not least, we do have the playtest for Jungle's game. This is one of the hypest upcoming mints. I did get to test out the game beforehand, but it's great that you guys finally get to play. And again, there are whitelist opportunities for people testing out these games, especially for Jungle. I will have an exclusive video about this one coming out later this week. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I am incredibly jet lagged, so I wanted to get this video out, but I will get back to my regular schedule of putting out more content for you guys. I also ran a poll on my YouTube asking if you'd like to see longer format video or interviews with not only Web3 people, but even people who just cover like the macro, right? Like what's going to happen with rate cuts and inflation and where's the market going to go? So I do plan on doing more of those. Hopefully I can get some of the bigger YouTubers to come on my channel and then really just pick their brain. I'd like to get guys like Elio and just ask him questions about Super and what's happening with Neo Tokyo and imposters and what are his plans for those projects. And then also get some of the traders or TA guys that I watch their videos, bring them on here and pick their brain on where they believe the market is going to go, where their price targets are, how they plan on trading, and so on. So if you like that, would you kindly hit that subscribe button, smash the like button. It really helps my channel reach a wider audience. Thank you for watching the Crypto Gorilla. Peace.